Hi, this is DigitalFemme and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to do something completely different. I am going to start a podcast called Pick a Topic Podcast. And what that is I'm going to invite a guest to come on and I'm going to give them three topics and they need to choose what topic they want to talk about. And then we'll have a lively discussion. I want these sessions to be really short, maybe 12, 15 minutes long, so that it doesn't get to be too overboard. Anyway, I'm going to invite my first guest, and our first guest is Rockstar Sophy. So let me just invite him. And before Rockstar Sophy comes on, let me give you a background. I met Rockstar Sophy. Uh, Actually, he's like a coworker of mine. We have been working for a marketing agency in Toronto, and that's how I met him. And currently, we are creating a podcast for two internal clients. I really need to remember to look at my webcam here. We are creating a podcast for two internal clients, and we decided even before this that we should do our own podcast. So let's see how this goes. And right now, I'm going to admit Rockstar Sophy in. And here he is. Hey, Rockstar Sophy, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Wow, I love your mic. What is that?
It is a dinosaur, Apex 435.
It sounds
And
good.
yeah, it's a pretty good mic, I think. I'm by no means a mic expert. I got my manual mic holder here, if you know what I mean, because
That's
I'm lacking a proper mic stand.
that's so cool. So funny thing is, Sophie, I gave a little intro. I told the people out there that the reason how I met you was that you're actually a coworker for a
Mm.
marketing agency in Toronto. I also said that we are currently working on creating a podcast for two internal clients. And even before that, we decided we even wanted to do our own podcast. So this is going to be it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's the start of something. Let's see if it can continue. I mean, I've always been down, and yeah, I'm not particularly shy about being in front of the camera or anything. But but you know what? I'm more. Um, it's more common to see me behind the camera.
Exactly. Well, that's all going to change in 2020.
Yeah.
So you don't know this, but just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it's going to be Pick a Topic podcast. And the whole theme of this is I invite guests into this channel and I choose three topics and I give them to the guests and they get to pick. And eventually I want to have like a virtual or digital wheel where there's a bunch of topics and you spin the wheel, I don't know how, and then goes and that's the topic. So we're going to do this manually. Imagine, if you will, a virtual wheel with three topics, and the topics are: number one, Sesame Street; number two, water bottle brands; and number three, social media. You get to choose what topic you want to talk about, and we'll discuss it.
Okay. Let's see. I think I'll start with Sesame Street.
Okay,
Um,
go.
what can I say? I'm sure, as with everybody that grew up in North America, watched Sesame Street as a young kid, and I continue to do so for quite a while. I must say, it's even now when I sometimes see it on YouTube, because now I have a daughter that watches it, and I still find it pretty entertaining. Great value, and hope it continues forever.
Right?
Mhm.
So, who is your favorite character in on Sesame Street and why?
I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, I think maybe I like Big Bird, maybe because the way he looks. Yeah, I don't. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. Yeah, Big Bird or Cookie Monster.
Do you feel that Sesame Street was ahead of its time? Because you even said, and even me too, when I watch Sesame Street on YouTube, I still like watching it.
Yeah, I'd say so. They were, in terms of entertainment and diversity, they've always had that. Um, they've had hip hop elements in it when it was still gaining ground before it was even mainstream, and I remember that. Yeah, I think I mean I haven't kept up obviously, but I'm pretty sure they're still breaking new grounds.
That's true. That's true. Do you feel that, I know we're still going to be talking on the lines of Sesame Street, but do you feel like currently children's programming or shows have veered off from, I don't know, like that value, those values that you want children to have instilled in them? Or do you feel that the shows nowadays still have those values, only presented in a different way?
Yeah, I've noticed a difference. Maybe it's not just with children's show, but I think in general, maybe just North America in how we sugarcoat things and politicize things, making things politically correct. Um, I see that when I'm thinking back to the cartoons of the past and seeing cartoons now, children's show, not just cartoons, but children's show in general. But yeah, it's a little more politically correct.
Interesting. So, do you feel that because with the internet and everything is more like a level playing field, do you feel like this political correctness is the way to go? Meaning, in terms of breeding global citizens for young kids nowadays who eventually will lead the future?
No, I don't think so. I think everything should be in moderation, and the trend from just my own observation that it's becoming more and more extremely politically correct rather, and yeah, I think that doesn't help the young generation. It gives them a false sense of reality.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Now, getting back to the topic of Sesame Street, I don't know if you've watched any of its recent episodes, but do you feel that Sesame Street has bought into the whole political correctness, or are they doing it in a way that they're still honoring perhaps a false need for that or a need for that, in addition to still maintaining what they initially set out to do?
I can't say I'm certain about it. I was a bit tuned out and kind of half listening. I still see a bit of the spirit of the original Sesame Street from when I was a child, but at the same time, I did notice there was something different about it, and that's just like just from glancing at it, not fully listening to it.
You know what? That kind of makes sense because I noticed that the shows I've previously watched that are still running or second versions of it, when I go in and watch them, there is a difference that I really can't put my finger on. And I still not sure what that is.
Yeah, I think watching just one episode wouldn't be enough to really come to a conclusion. You'd have to watch a series of it, several episodes, and get a sense of how it's evolved.
Right. I got a question for you. So, with regards to Sesame Street, if you were to be hired as a writer for one segment of Sesame Street, what topic would you choose, or theme, or story for your particular segment to be shown on Sesame Street?
I think it's really important for kids to develop an interest in something from a young age, and so I guess the show would revolve around that. Maybe just exploring different things, and it's almost like it's a show that's more aimed for parents to encourage their children to try new things, uh, but I guess targeted to children in a way where they can see different activities and why it's fun to do, or just encouraging them to try it on their own.
You know what? I really like that. And I love how you also brought in the parent aspect, the parental aspect, because anytime you can, bring in parents and children together on the same platform, then the parents can always like curate and, like make sure the child is kind of like going, what is it, like the right way, or you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I understand.
Uh,
Yeah, I think when you have that mindset and you're thinking holistically, then maybe your message would be clear, more wholesome. I suppose. I mean, it would probably be more subliminal, but the parents would understand that.
Right. Now, here's another question regarding Sesame Street. So, people know that Rockstar Sophie does has had no precept or no concept of what he's going to be talking about coming onto this channel. So he's just really going off on the fly, and actually so am I, because that's how we go. Here's a question, Sophie: if you were to be a character on Sesame Street, if you were to play one, and even though you don't know the new ones, if there are any, who would
Mhm.
that be?
So an existing character.
Yeah, or one that you
Hmm.
know of. Who would you play?
Well, it's been a while, and I've forgotten most of the characters. Let's see. There are,
Okay, there's Big Bird, you know.
yeah, Big Bird,
There's
Snuffleupagus. You
Snuffleupagus.
can't forget him.
Can't you
Ernie and Bert, you can't forget them.
can't forget them. Grover.
Grover was, who was he again?
He was a skinny little Muppet with a big head, and he'll come up like, "Rah!" Like that kind of thing. He's
That
like
almost
very.
describes a lot of the characters on Sesame Street. There was Cookie Monster, Oscar the Grouch. Um, hmm.
The Count.
The Count. Oh, the Count was cool. Maybe I'll be the Count because he just seemed fun.
Yes, absolutely. You are like the Count. Totally. Now we have 3 minutes. This is supposed to be a 15-minute slash podcast because I didn't know how it was, or channel. I didn't know how it's going to, so I'm actually timing it. So we have about 3 minutes and a bit to talk. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Like, I think we kind of explored a lot of main facets that we can kind of like talk about Sesame Street on. We can go down the
Something
rabbit hole with
totally
it.
unrelated.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just this instant, I was thinking, um, just for those out there who are doing their own podcast or whatever, you probably want to get a mic stand because it's actually pretty hard to hold a mic for 13 or so minutes. You start to feel the strain. So, a word of advice to y'all: you could take away something for this episode.
That is a great trip. Hence, ta-da! That is a totally, totally good tip. So, you know what I was thinking? Maybe it could just be us. We don't have to invite guests. This is just us picking 3 topics and then eventually grow it. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Just
you
be us
folks out
talking about
there,
topics, right?
yeah, you let us know. You let DigitalFemme know. When you're tired of seeing me on as a guest and you want to bring somebody else on. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna hog the spotlight. That's for sure.
Oh, you know what? I was even thinking we could do themes like wig theme, or one day it's going to be blue Monday. I don't even know. Or we'll all wear blue just to make it interesting. What do you think?
Okay. My wardrobe's limited. I know I do have a blue T-shirt, so if it's blue, it's okay.
We'll work
Um,
around your
yeah,
wardrobe.
yeah, it'll depend on the color.
We'll definitely work around your wardrobe. And I don't know. I know you have a young girl that you were homeschooling due to
Hmm.
the whole social distancing early on in the year. And how's that coming along? Is she going back to school, right?
Yes, she will. In 2 or so weeks, she will physically be back in school.
How do you feel about that?
Um, well, I do have concerns about um, the infection in kids because at the age she's going to grade 2. They may know about the virus, but they may not necessarily know the everything about the virus, the repercussions of the virus, and maybe not understanding why things we need to social distance ourselves. um, yeah, you just can't really expect that out of young children. They'll likely be closer to each other when they shouldn't be. So there's always a risk of infection. Um, but yeah, I guess we just have to be brave. And luckily the data so far has shown that it's more rare for the younger you are. I guess the rarer it is for you to contract that disease.
Oh, that's great. Do you feel, I know you visited the school and you had a little tour on how they were going to handle this whole social distancing. Do you feel as a parent confident that they got this?
Yeah, they have been from what I was told, planning that for a while and how to set up the classrooms, to the point of like even just the day-to-day activities. So my daughter's teacher in particular, she's setting up uh, play packages for all the children where be in a Ziploc bag with their name, and it'll have everything they need uh, for whatever activity it is they're doing, and it will stay in school, won't be touched by anybody else. So personalized just for them. Whereas, compared to that in the past where everything were just in buckets and kids can just take whatever from there. So yeah, I think they're definitely putting a lot of thought into that.
Wow, that's actually good to know. I don't have young kids right now, but I feel for the parents out there that are letting go their children back into this type of environment. However, it's good to know that
Mhm.
schools have put things in place, and you have their vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to close off. And just before we do, hold on, there's a Rockstar Sophie. I do want you to say a couple of words, but I do want to remind the audience out there that please, I know this is our first episode, but there's going to be more, obviously, and there'll be fun, and you get to choose the topics perhaps, and you can like tweet to us or I don't know, like put it in the comments below. But do consider liking this video and subscribing. Subscribing, I believe it's down here. And yeah, so that's about it. However, Sophie, got any last words that you want to share with? It should be like Rockstar Sophie's last, Rockstar Sophie's, not last words, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Rockstar Sophie's
Well,
life
yeah,
tips.
sure. Okay. Well, I guess going back to the whole finding an interest, yeah, it doesn't stop at kids. It doesn't matter how old you are. Um, the reality is not everybody has a hobby or an interest, and it's it's I guess coming from me, I would say try to find one. I think everybody needs something that they can look forward to outside of whatever it is they do during the day. And in fact, that came from you as a tip to me, and that's true. And that's why I'm doing this with you now, because it's an outlet for to release some energy and some stress, and yeah, and I gotta say it is pretty fun. So you guys gotta just try something, do something, whatever. You never know, you'll like it or not.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for reminding me about that. I kind of forgot that I forget a lot of things. Must be an
Yeah,
age
we,
thing.
we talk about so many things, right?
I know. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Rockstar Sophie, for being actually not we are both our first guests of this channel. I guess because we are the hosts. That's it. Right now, we are going to be creating a whole new YouTube channel with a new title and everything. So watch out for that. We still have to brainstorm about that. And it's going to be up tomorrow, which is what? Wait, today's Wednesday?
Today's
Hump day.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow, Thursday. Well, everybody, thank you so much. Please consider liking and subscribing to our channel.
Do
Whenever
it.
that's going to be yet.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Do
You're
it.
thinking it. Do
Mm-mm-mm.
it.
All right. Bye. Signing off.
Okay, bye, everybody.